The following is a presentation of Flow Sports.
Coming to you from Arlington, Texas, site of the Amegy College Baseball Series on Flow College. It is a triple-header on deck today, and up first, it is a matchup between the Big Ten and the ACC. The Michigan Wolverines taking on the 16th-ranked and unbeaten Florida State Seminoles to kick off our triple-header coverage live on Flow. Good afternoon and welcome to Globe Life Field alongside Ty Harrington. I'm Brand Freeman. And Ty, look at Michigan. The Wolverines out to a 3-1 start, played a lot of quality competition last week. FSU unbeaten, and of course, with a great history behind them as well. This should make for a great matchup to start today.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 11 a.m. in Central Standard Time, and we've got two unbelievable teams about to get after it today in this tournament. And it's not football. This is real college baseball by name, and it's going to be a lot of fun today.
Let's talk a little bit more about Michigan as we take a look at the lineup for head coach Tracy Smith. And again, the competition they were up against last week was very, very good.
Well, I think Michigan going into the year, if you listen to Coach Smith, he talks about this was going to be their strength, and certainly over the first 4 games, it has shown up. And look, a lot of different guys have played so far for him, too, offensively.
So again, that's the lineup today for the Wolverines, as now we take a closer look at Wes Mendez getting the start today for Florida State.
Yeah, this is electric stuff now. I mean, you start looking at it from the left side, it's 92 up to 95. Best pitch, Brant, changeup. Now, and here's the other piece. He'll use it on both sides, meaning he'll throw it against right and left-handed hitters.
5 scoreless innings last week, 7 strikeouts in a victory over JMU, a team out of the Sun Belt Conference. Only walked 1 in the win over James Madison back in Tallahassee. You talked to head coach Link Jarrett about his Florida State team, and Ty, even though they won all 3 games, thought they could have played better.
Well, every coach thinks they can play better this time. When you know what that tells me, and it's confidence from Coach Garrett. He has high expectations. So when you don't play, up to what you think is going to be the expectations, particularly Southern teams who've been on the field a lot, right, in the preseason. And so I think that's it as much as anything else. And everybody's always trying to motivate, find something to keep your team and your program moving forward.
Well, here is that FSU defense. Braden Dowd, Chase Williams, and Brody DeLama-Lee are in the outfield for the Seminoles. Infield defense of Gabe Frazier, Cal Fisher, Chase Estes, Miles Bailey, and Hunter Carnes, a battery mate along with Mendez. And you get a look now at Braden Jeffress, the leadoff batter for the Wolverines, a team that again is out to a 3-1 start this season. We mentioned the quality of competition they played last week to kick things off. Wins over ranked teams, Oregon State and Arizona. Also beat Stanford last week as well. The only setback they had was on Monday in extra innings against Oregon State. So the Wolverines a couple of plays away from an unbeaten start to the year.
And teams that historically are able to get out on the field, Stanford and Oregon State being who they've been and who they are, Omaha team playing for national titles and winning national titles, that's a tough That's a tough calendar to get your season started with, and you said it, like they had a chance to win all 4.
And they're looking at head coach Tracy Smith as his leadoff man Braden Jeffers steps into the batter's box. A member of the All-Big Ten's freshman team a year ago. First pitch cut on and missed, and off we go here from Arlington. You mentioned the fastball that Mendez is tying. It's got some movement on it too.
Yeah, the two-seamer's got good right to left movement. You see him right there on the edge of that outer part of the plate. It looked like it was going to be one of those borderline ball strikes, but Brant, it's really good stuff. Obviously, you're not going to go out there as the #1 starter for Florida State and have, average to below average stuff. I mean, it's 92 to 96 when he's really trying to get after it. Curveball, cutter, and then his changeup is what he uses often to try to finish hitters off.
The ace of the staff a year ago for Florida State, Jamie Arnold, 11th overall pick to the A's organization, one of 12 players drafted over the offseason. And so Coach Link Jarrett having to reload the roster, retool the starting rotation. And Wes Mendez again getting Friday starting duties here today for Florida State. Had a great sophomore campaign a year ago. Named to the Tallahassee Regional All-Region team. As Jeffers grounds out to Estes, and there's one down in the first.
Well, like that, you get a chance to see 2 of his pitches with his fastball slider. A good job of attacking the strike zone, which always makes a coach when you're on the pitching side of it. So get another look at the ground ball over to Estes. Does a nice job. First play of the game as an infielder, you're always looking for it, right? You always want that very first one to go ahead and get it over with, kind of settle your nerves.
Brings up Cade Lottahoff, the DH for the Wolverines. Good opening weekend for him. Had 3 hits and a double in the victory over the Beavers. It also drove in 2 in the win over Stanford last Saturday. A swing and a miss, and there's that elevated fastball from Mendez.
Oh, that's a 4-seamer that just explodes out of his hand. I know everybody is, if you've not played this game and faced power pitchers before, you go, well, why do they swing at that? And it starts in that elevated area, and he went right back to it again, as you see it right there. It's at the top of the triangle. What I mean by that, there's a triangle. If you took a triangle, put the very top above the strike zone. Hitters see it, they recognize it, they see elevation, they think they know it's a fastball, they think it can catch up to get to the middle of it, and they can't do it with that kind of velo.
Able to lay off the changeup. That'll run the count to 1-2 to Lottahoff.
Nowadays they start using the word, high spin rate. I mean, there's so many different things to it now with all the.
Got him on the slider. First couple of pitches, tying fastball, then went with the off speed.
Yeah, I mean, he showed him his 4-seamer up, got him to chase. Didn't chase the changeup, and I mean, he comes back and look at the spin on that slider at 84, 85 miles an hour. It's got enough break to it, enough depth to it, gets underneath his barrel. That is a rough-looking pitch.
2 up, 2 down as Brendan Stressler comes up for Michigan with the bases empty. That's over his head on the breaking ball. So again, the Wolverines quality competition last week. And you talk to head coach Tracy Smith, and the arms they're up against especially excellent. Saw 97 to 99 regularly, but they were able to grind out at-bats and get to those quality pitchers last week.
I mean, again, grinding out bats is a great word, a great word for it too. I mean, you got a good offensive team, but look, there's a difference between grinding out at bats against, some of the programs you might open up on a weekend, and then these guys are open. I mean, that's different. And but you're right, it allowed them to. I think it was they busted up the 3-3 tied late, and again, you're facing, I would assume, I didn't get to watch the games. I'm going to assume that everything that they faced last weekend, knowing the teams, the programs, the coaches, and historical players, they sat there and watched 92 to 95, just like they're going to do again this weekend.
1-2 to Stressler. And that's out of play. First-year transfer to the program from St. Louis. Made his Michigan debut a week ago against Oregon State at the Surprise College Baseball Series in Arizona on an opening day. Homered against the Beavers.
You're watching defensive swings on these four-seam elevated fastballs by the Michigan hitters right now. And I'm not poking fun at them. It'd be tough on anybody. What it does is it starts to tell you just how explosive Mendez's fastball really is.
Count even 2-2. Mendez, second-year transfer out of Ole Miss. 16 starts a year ago. Won 7 games. ERA around 5.5 in 78 innings. Struck out 90. 2-2. That ball hit in the air towards center. Chase Williams chases it down. And Mendez retires the Wolverines in order. 3 up, 3 down goes Michigan. We go to the bottom of the first. The Seminoles batting for the first time this afternoon in Arlington.
The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back? You've got some nerve showing up here again, looking all delicious with your fresh all-beef patties, melty cheeses, grilled peppers and onions, and jalapeno ranch. When I want you, you're nowhere to be found. And now you're back? Aw, get in here. We just missed you, that's all. The Whataburger Monterey Melt is back and harder to resist than ever. Download the app. What a burger!
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here, you grow.
At Globe Life, we have policies for almost everybody.
Welders?
Yes.
Farmers?
Yes.
Rodeo clowns?
No, we don't cover rodeo clowns.
Construction workers?
Yes.
Electricians?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Not rodeo clowns.
Factory workers?
Yes.
Chefs?
Yes.
Birthday clowns?
Yes.
Ah, come on!
Globe Life Insurance. Affordable coverage for almost everyone.
And now the lineup today for Florida State, presented by Amegy Bank. This lineup last week pummeled James Madison, pitching to the tune of 34 runs scored and a couple of run rule victories as well over the Dukes. Braden Dowd has had a huge impact for the Seminoles, and we'll also see Noah Sheffield bat here in the first inning. You see him right there waiting on deck. Miles Bailey also in the top third of the order for FSU. Very potent lineup for head coach Link Jarrett. And here is Tate Carey on the mound for the Michigan Wolverines. A year ago, a freshman All-American. Opening day starter for the Wolverines last week. Struck out 5 innings of work against Oregon State. And he faces leadoff man Braden Dowd. This is after Wes Mendez for FSU with 3 up and 3 down through the Wolverines lineup. That ball hit opposite of the shift and bounces into left for a base hit for Dowd. Only one infielder on the left side. It bounced over the head of Jeffers. 2 pitches in, and Dowd is on base.
Well, the shift giveth and the shift taketh away, and that's certainly one of those ones where your leadoff hitter, Dowd, goes the other way with that 2-seam fastball historically, Brent, you know this, and everybody watching this knows it. If you're lined up in a regular defense, that's a routine ground ball to the shortstop. But with his kind of sink, I see why they would shift over, because there's going to be some pull side ground balls as this game goes on.
Now it's Sheffield. First pitch is away. Again, Carey, sophomore starter for the Wolverines. Well, his freshman season, he just exploded onto the scene. 9-0 record. Second most wins by freshman in program history. Lowest ERA in the staff a year ago as well, under 4. 2 big misses here from Carey, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, both with a slider. First to the leadoff hitter, Dowd. He went 2 back-to-back two-seamers. Now he followed up first 2 pitches with slider. Missed what it once, Branch. You got to be able to go back to it again.
2-0. Kind of nibble there. You might recognize the last name a bit too, Ty, as Noah Sheffield's dad, Gary Sheffield. Great major leaguer. Played for more than 20 years in the big leagues.
Well, the thing about being my age is when you get to see the adults in the picture, you get to remember what they look like, right? Stance-wise, body frame, all those kinds of things, and you wouldn't even have to say a name, and you start to recognize, hey, that looks just like. And obviously, if you look in there and watch the stance, watch the bat wiggle,
you can see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Dad was a 9-time All-Star, playing for 8 different franchises in the majors.
And you talking about somebody that could generate some bat head speed and then charge some balls up. Here's Sheffield could do that.
And he would aggressively wave the bat at home plate, just like his son Noah's doing here as he draws a 5-pitch walk, and the first 2 are on Florida State with nobody out.
But he missed with his slider 4 times in that sequence, all pull side. I mean, he pulled all of them low and away from Sheffield. Obviously, now he's going to ask for new baseball, but now you find yourself facing Bailey, who's coming into the year, has a ton of accolades, but now you got a left matchup early in the game. You always feel like as a pitcher, you want to get out there and get settled in. Now he finds himself in a little bit of a jam with some traffic on the bases.
Climbs the ladder, comes up empty. So right now you have a matchup between 2 freshman All-American from a year ago, and Carey for the Wolverines and Bailey for the Seminoles. 5 hits in the JMU series last week, including a home run. Drove in 4 for FSU. And looks at a strike in the inner half, that at 95 from Carey.
It's a good-looking young man in the box. You're talking about physical. Guy was just a sophomore. Obviously, you were talking about the year he had last year.
Off the fist and foul. Yeah, last year, as a freshman, belted out 19 home runs, second most in the ACC.
That's so impressive on so many different levels, being able to jump up and take on the type of Division I pitching they face, too. Not just Division I pitching. Their conference, out-of-conference play with a tough schedule. It's just going to be interesting now, Brent. It's been mainly fastballs to Bailey. They tried to elevate there to get him to chase. Did they finally go to a breaker, something off speed, try to get a swing miss?
Did he check his swing? Nope, went around. Strikes out of the high fastball. And Carey has his first punch out of the day.
Well, there's your answer. 5 straight fastballs. They didn't do anything secondary at him or off speed. They elevate again. Let's see if the barrel moved just enough. You see that barrel get out in front of home plate. You move that barrel just that much. Makes it a little bit easier for those corner umpires to call strike 3.
First out of the inning. That brings up Cal Fisher, one of the captains for this Florida State team. Fouls off the first offering. It's 0-1. Here's the Wolverines defense this afternoon. Start with the outfield, Stressler, Pace, and Hager. In the outfield for Michigan, Jefferis, Culbertson on the left side of the infield, Turner and Luna on the right. And the catcher is Noah Miller today for Michigan. As the count here runs to a ball and a strike and a breaking ball in the dirt. The runners will stay, and it's 1-1.
Well, we're at an impasse from him on the mound right now with his slider or curveball, however you want to call it. He hasn't landed one yet for a strike. All of them have been low and away, and as a hitter, you want to try to eliminate pitches in your mind you may have to see, and you get geared up for a fastball.
That ball headed towards center, and Pace able to track it down. Good for out number 2.
Well, what does he do? He dials up his first cutter. Let's get away. If I can't land my curveball, let's go to a cutter. Although that ball was hit pretty good by Fisher. And then Pace does a tremendous job, Brand, of breaking in on this ball to get to it.
Again, this is the first of a triple header for us today. Up next, Nebraska and Louisville. Nightcap of Auburn and K-State. All live on Flo. And, of course, this is a huge weekend on Flo College. In addition to our coverage here in Arlington, the great annual Mary Nutter Classic for softball, also on Flo. And back to the bag is Luna, who makes the play. Tough play at first, made by Luna. And that'll end the inning as Hunter Carnes grounds out.
Sit tight. We may be seeing them that they're going to go to check this out with the umpires right now for a review. And I think that's it. Again, it was going to be tight as to whether they did. He left the bag, Brant, and jumped up to catch the ball. It was a soft thrown ball, and I mean it's close. It's going to be bang bang. And I don't blame Link Jarrett for coming out and asking the umpires to maybe look at it themselves, and that's correct. We are going to see a review. And here we go. You see him, it throws up. He has to jump. Yeah, he gets him. He's out. It looks like the defender's left foot, Brent, as he's coming down, gets to the bag before Carnes' right foot hits the green part of first base. But I'm not named the umpire, so.
Well, that is so close.
Yeah, but I think the pitcher's right foot, from the angle that I'm looking at on my monitor, the left foot. And so I'm going with it. They're going to keep the call as is, and he's going to be out. We're about to find out. How about that first inning? Why not?
And yep, there it is. Call is confirmed, and he is out. And a great defensive play ends the first for FSU as the Seminoles strand 2. We go to the second.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses World Tour 2026. One night. Globe Life Field, September 9th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
We've seen touchdowns, and we've seen home runs, but Arlington has never seen speed like this. A stampede of drivers who fear nothing and no one. Crowds that match the volume of 700 horsepower. A spectacle built between two of the most iconic stadiums on earth.
How cool.
This ain't our first rodeo, but it might be our fastest.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors, And never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
And welcome back to Arlington at Globe Life Field. We go to the second inning as now we're joined by Florida State head coach Link Jarrett. And Coach, we had a chance to visit with you earlier in the week, and when a lot of people think about FSU baseball, they think about the incredible tenure for Mike Martin, who you played for, and then you took over for his son in Tallahassee. What did Mike Martin mean for you in your career, and now what you're doing is taking over as head coach?
Well, he was the foundation of a lot of the knowledge that I have. I had a great high school coach, and Jeff Hogan, and then Coach Martin. I felt like they opened my eyes to player development, and Coach Martin was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, ever at game management and understanding the personnel and the trust in what's going on in his system and application to produce the greatest winning result we've seen.
Coach, I got to tell you, I just noticed something in the middle of this first question. Ground ball to short, you didn't miss a beat. You must have some confidence in Fisher out there, your shortstop.
Yeah, you know, you don't have a ton of guys that have been in the program, but he's been with us for 3 years and played a really nice third base for us. And like most of the infielders, came out of high school as a shortstop, and then you kind of have to move guys around a little bit. And our third baseman, when Fisher did not play, was Cam Smith, who ended up playing right field for the Houston Astros last year. So, you know, he was stuck for 1 year and then played third, and now systematically understands what's going on with everything we do on the field. So that's a bonus for us. He's really a coach on the field.
You got to love that part of. Last question. You guys are weather-wise, you're down south, you got beautiful weather this time of year. You can stay home and play, huge crowds. Give us your mindset as to coming to Globe Life and participating in this tournament.
Well, you look at the field, I feel like this is a bracket that you could see in Omaha, this level of competition. So to get that experience, to be in a tournament setting where the timeline's different and you're so accustomed to what you do at home, being on the road, you have to learn to adapt and adjust, and the cages are different and the timelines are different, and you don't have your friendly home crowd. So you have to adapt to a lot of things. And then for the players to experience a big league stadium, make no mistake, every one of these guys wants to come back here as a Texas Ranger or a Yankee or a Marlin or in any form or fashion to be in this stadium as a major leaguer. So to have this feel for them and that experience of what it's like and what this place plays like and kind of that carrot that's dangled out in front of you, I think it checks every single box for me.
Actually, Coach, got one more for you. Wes Mendez, your opening day starter last week. Again, the Friday starter this week. Big shoes to fill. Certainly your ace a year ago, Jamie Arnold, now the A's organization. How effective has Wes been?
Well, he's been very good, and I think it's sharp right now, and you can see the velo. You know, he's 93 to 95. He's got his slider going. He threw some good change-ups there. He'll find that breaking ball, and then the repetitiveness of the mechanics are really the evolution that we'll see him take this year, and the sky's the limit for the guy. I mean, he's athletic, 4 or 5 pitches in play. We just need him to keep this going today.
Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck the rest of the day.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, that again, Link Jarrett. We're back after this.
Every shot starts with belief. Something extraordinary can happen. Shriners Children's provides hope, healing, and the chance to dream big. They never allow the ability to pay to compromise the care children receive. Shriners Children's empowers the extraordinary, and you can too. Join me in supporting this life-changing cause and help provide the most amazing care anywhere.
The biggest weekend in rodeo is coming to Arlington, Texas. The American Rodeo Championship Weekend returns May 22nd and 23rd at Globe Life Field, with special live performances from 2-time Grammy-nominated Midland on Friday and country superstar Chris Young on Saturday. This is rodeo at its finest, and the only place to experience it is Globe Life Field. Don't wait. Tickets are on sale now at AmericanRodeo.com.
Winter, the only season you can't see a go-ahead home run. can't witness a filthy strikeout.
Holy moly!
Can't even experience a walk-off.
That ball is history!
And you're reminded there really are only two seasons, winter and baseball.
How about that?
So how do you win your winter? You get ready for baseball. Single game tickets now on sale, all for Texas.
Florida State sweeping James Madison last week and out to an impressive start this season. You look at the offense, 7 players with 3 hits or more. Swept the 2 games from JMU and then beat Jacksonville in a run rule victory in the midweek game on Tuesday. The finale against JMU canceled because of rain in Tallahassee. As this fly ball is hit to left pretty deep, and it is off the bottom of the wall, off the bat of Gabe Frazier. And Frazier, great wheels around second, on his way to third. 1 pitch into the bottom of the inning, and Frazier belts out a triple to start the inning for Florida State.
But the left fielder, especially, had to go a long way to try to catch this ball. And I'll tell you what, he got after this ball. This ball carried a little bit further than I thought. And then once it bounced off the wall, it was going to make it a lot easier for him to get to third base.
Runner to third, nobody out. And now Brody DeLamielleure looks at a strike from Tate Carey. Ball at the first base line, no chance for Frazier to advance and score. DeLamielleure, so far 3 games into the year, 3 for 10, and 2 of those 3 hits have left the yard. A couple of home runs. Fouled away. Oh, the fastball. Count runs to 1 and 2.
Well, this time of game, Brent, first, second inning, I'm sorry, and early like this, defensively for Michigan, it's a tie game. You'll surrender your middle part of your infielders. Now they're going to crash in halfway. As I was saying, they're going to surrender the run, and which most people do, and they play their middle guys back. They decided to crash them in with nobody out.
2 and 2. That's chopped right back to Carey. And that'll hold Frazier at third base. That's good with the first out of the inning.
Well, this time Carey puts a little bit more on his throw to first base than he did the first time. They were playing, that's their infield up. And let me tell you what that tells you as a coach, as the opposing coach. They think it's going to be a close game. If you're willing early in the game to try to cut a run off, you're telling yourselves, hey, this is going to be a 1-run game or a 2-1 game or something like that in your mind going into it, preparing for it.
There's Jace Estes down for FSU, hitting in the 8-hole today for Florida State. And Estes looks at strike 1.
Quite a bit more confidence from Carey with that cutter than his curveball so far.
Fastball that misses inside. Florida State won its regional last year in Tallahassee, and then went to Corvallis for the Supers. A series the Beavers won 2-1. That's fouled away for strike 2. So the Seminoles 1 game shy of making their 25th College World Series ever. And we talked with Coach Jarrett earlier, Ty, and of course you yourself, a longtime head coach, 20 years at Texas State, and the impact Mike Martin had on the game, immeasurable.
Yeah, and on a personal note, and let's see what happens on this pitch. I'm going to dive into the first time I met him in Omaha as a player. He was sitting next to me, and I was like almost, now again, I played for what I think, well, it was 1-2, winningest coach before Augie, ultimately became the winningest coach. It was Coach Gustafson, who I played for, and then Coach Martin at Florida State became the most active winningest coach. As we see a tremendous battle going on right now with Estes and Carey. Carey really was he needs to try to come up with or take a chance maybe with that curveball, Brent, to get a swing miss, because anything elevated now, your outfit, if you get to the outfield, has got a chance to score with a sac fly. But and I'd love to finish this story when the moment creates itself about Coach Martin.
Whether this battle continues.
Yeah, let's stay with the battle, because there'll be a moment where we can go back and visit it, outside the fact that he was such a tremendous, winning coach. And I think Jared, who played for him and coached for him. And that's another piece of this. At some point over the weekend, maybe today, I can relate and visit about and talk about.
Estes pokes out to center, and that's in for a base hit. And Florida State strikes first. Frazier jogs in his score, 1-0 FSU.
I'm not going to lose this at bat. He saw his fastball, he saw his cutter. He tries to get him out front with a changeup. Gets him out front, he does, but he stays on it long enough to get it out to center field for an RBI single. That is a tremendous at bat in an RBI situation. We get another look at it right here, Brant. See how he got him out front? He keeps his feet underneath him, keeps that barrel in there just long enough to reach it and get it out to center field.
Here's Chase Williams batting 9th for Florida State. Bunts that one foul.
A lot of different ways to score, move runners. Coach Jarrett talked about the bottom part of his lineup. They can run, they can bunt, they can hit and run, they can drag, they can safety squeeze. And here we are, first time right out of the box, when they get an RBI single, runner on first, one out, and then he goes right to the drag game. And it puts it in everybody that they're playing today, the team they're playing today, Michigan, and all the other two teams they're going to play, puts it in their mind. That makes the corners come up, opens some, ground ball gaps for you to get balls through as a hitter.
There's a bunt. Carey fields on to first, and a good sacrifice put down by Williams. And that'll give the top of the order a chance to drive in another run as Braden Dowd comes up for Florida State.
Yeah, two things out of that, Grant. One, it gets him in the scoring position, as you just alluded to, right, with the drag bunt. Number two, I think they were testing Carey a little bit. Remember the first play that ended the inning? It was a high throw. He didn't put much on it. Didn't look like the most confident throw. Next throw he had to field, the first out in this inning, was up the line. So I think they said, hey, let's get him in the scoring position and let's make the pitcher go defend this baseball.
Dowd smokes that one right up the middle, but the shift was on, and the shortstop Culbertson in position to make the play to end the inning.
The shift giveth, and the shift taketh away. This time it works out for Michigan. Well, your shortstop up the middle.
But the Seminoles have struck 1-0 heading into the third.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger, like the new Big Ranch Wrap. A crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata deal, now at What a Burger. Download the app.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Forrest Frank, the Jesus Generation Tour. I was down, but now I'm
live in a 360 in the round experience. With special guests Tori Kelly, Corey Asbury, plus the Figs. On sale now at forrestfrank.com. Don't miss the Jesus Generation Tour with Forrest Frank.
Jesus is coming back.
Produced by TPR.
A triple header on deck today. You're watching Michigan and Florida State. Coming up next, Nebraska and Louisville. Another matchup between the Big Ten of the ACC and the nightcap. 9th-ranked Auburn against Kansas State. All here on Flo College. Going to the third, 1-0. Florida State on top. You know, Mendez pitching with the lead. He's gone 6 up and 6 down so far.
And efficient. Some quick outs. First, second pitch outs. Aggressive. You gotta love that as a coach. You sit out there and and as he falls into a 3-ball count, but I'm sorry, yeah, and 2-1 count. That as a coach, the success factor of guys who just keep jamming the ball in the strike zone, and what that does for your defense, your timing, your rhythm, the hitter. I mean, it's just, I can't overemphasize. How many times did you talk to a coach when he says, "Oh, his command's through the roof," or then they'll say, "Well, his stuff is good, but and they're 6-7 walks a game." But Mendez so far has been nothing but just aim right down the barrel of that strike zone.
Well, pitching has just become infinitely harder in this game. The strike zone has shrunk. When you talk to Link Jarrett about that, the tighter strike zone has led to more offense. As we saw here in this ballpark last week, Ty, with Pace drawing a walk here, 22 home runs were hit at the Shriners College Classic last week.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different things involved with that. I mean, again, we're going to have a long discussion at some point, the maturity of college baseball and the hitters. And that's a long conversation about, they cut the draft down starting with COVID here in 20. They eliminated some minor league teams. So that draft that was going up to 40, 50 rounds is now only 20. And that's where a lot of those college hitters were getting taken, from the 20th to the 50th round. And now you've got a much more mature offensive baseball game in college now. And look, I'm convinced. I'm not convinced. I know for a fact professional baseball has said, "Hey, let's let these guys college. They're good," meaning development. Let's let them develop them, and then we'll spend money on a little bit more older finished product. Not guessing, maybe take a little bit of the guesswork from an 18-year-old high school kid out of play.
Well, it used to be, as we watch Evan Hager bat here for Michigan, when players were drafted, it'd take them quite a journey to get to the big leagues. They would go through the ranks, single A, double A, triple A on Ford, and it might be 5 or 6 years as we look at a strikeout for the first out of the inning. But now, because the development in college baseball is where it is today, the journey for a lot of these top-level college prospects is much shorter to get to Major League Baseball.
Well, they're much more mature. They know how to handle their own business at this point, because these college coaches have done such a good job, and they're prepared emotionally and physically for that moment. So it can shorten their journey to the big leagues.
9-hole hitter Drew Culbertson batting now for the Wolverines, with the top of the order waiting on deck.
Coach Smith, if he's throwing enough strikes, do you try to ignite the hit and run or run and hit game?
There's
a direct game.
Yeah, there's Mendez, who fields and fires in time to Bailey, front number 2.
I'm laughing only because I love it. This is a tremendous play, not an easy play. Left-handed pitcher having to get off the mound, opposite side towards the third base, and he does a tremendous job of picking up, looking down at the baseball, picking it up, and having to hurry a throw. You talking about an athletic move on this defensive play. That's a great play by the pitcher.
Tying run in scoring position now for Michigan as Braden Jeffers comes up for the Wolverines. Mentioned last week, by the way, At the Shriners Children's College Showdown, official attendance for the weekend at 57,772, the highest attended weekend in college baseball history at this ballpark.
Well, I told somebody it was 62, and I'm sticking with it. So I'm rounding up. Because I saw 62,000 people in here.
Can't check a swing. It's 1-2. Well, of course, all the games that the Razorbacks played in, and they travel so well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they sure do. And it's not that far of a trip. I mean, it's a drivable trip. You don't have to fly as well. But yes, they will go to the ends of the world.
And tight, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Mendez went after Lindhoff, I guess, with his breaker, and he's maybe used it 3 times so far efficiently or in a positive way. But the rest of the time, it's been a 4-seamer. That's pretty good.
It's a good take, or a tough take rather there for Jefferson, 2 strikes. Runner goes with a swing and a miss by Jeffers. Strikeout number 4 for Mendez, and 2 in the inning. Wes Mendez making his 2nd straight Friday start, dealing right now for the Seminoles, as he's held the Wolverines scoreless and hitless through 3. Along the way, 4 punch-outs for the lefty. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Florida State over Michigan here on Flow College.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Every at-bat.
That one is gone!
Every pitch.
Got him swinging!
Every angle.
He will score, and the Rangers are in front!
From pregame to postgame. From the truck to the booth.
I hope you're fired up at home, sitting on the couch, watching your favorite baseball team.
It all starts here. Rangers Sports Network, the official home of Rangers baseball.
The Rangers Foundation is really proud to support our community where they need us and when they need us. Crowds are bigger each year, and we're able to bring our donors in, and with the silent and live auction, we've raised almost $9 million to give back to our community.
Every year I come and support our organization. That's what we do best, helping the community.
Life Field, we're now joined by Wolverines head coach Tracy Smith with his team down 1-0 in the 3rd. And coach, I look at your early season schedule and it feels like you're playing in Omaha right now. Oregon State, Stanford, Arizona, Florida State today, and Louisville tomorrow. In terms of the competition you're up against to start the season, what do you hope to learn about your team?
Well, first of all, I was like, who the hell made that schedule? Then I brushed my teeth and noticed it was me looking in the mirror. Well, you know, there's always 2 philosophies I think the guys go with. It's like schedule, you know, there's no sure win in college baseball, but you schedule a little light to get wins for confidence. Or you schedule really, really good, as you said, Omaha caliber teams, because you know what you're going to know what your deficiencies are right away, or sooner, I should say. So that's the biggest thing for us. We've been able to play pretty well. We're battling like crazy right now, but I think it reveals what you need to work on and work on quickly.
Coach, I'm going to leave the social media and the TikTok question for later in the weekend, as opposed to just getting this thing started on opening day in this tournament. But in line with what Brand is saying, to be able to come into a big league park like this, and you know it's going to be 72 and sunny as well. I mean, you guys get a chance to get out on the field, practice, play, and all those things. How important is that for you guys right now during the season?
Well, I think we prefer 13 degrees and windy, and it's good. I mean, this is baseball weather, but our mindset is we're going to play anybody, anytime, anywhere. And, we even say to our guys, we got the Detroit Tigers right down the road from us. So in the big league park down there, you got to play in cold weather. But this park is gorgeous. This is why we say yes all the time to this thing, because they do a great job. But you're going to play every single game in perfect, ideal conditions. So, weather's a factor, but we try not to make it a factor.
Well, tell me what a factor right now. You're having to face Mendez, who's got pretty good stuff. That fastball's pretty explosive right now.
I just leaned over to my pitching coach and just said, this guy's a big leaguer. Like, just a very clean delivery. He throws multiple pitches for a strike. We just got to hang in there and just keep battling and throwing together good at-bats. But he's certainly a challenge.
Well, Coach, on the note, your pitcher today, your right-hander, Take Care, he seems to be holding his own against a very good lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he's just grown in every single outing. He's grown every single outing, and we feel really good with him on the mound, confident. It's like that developmental path. We like the path that he's taken and feel good when he's on the rubber and gives us a chance to win. Guys like playing behind him.
Good stuff, Coach. Thanks so much, and best of luck the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Good luck, Coach.
As Miles Bailey, who struck out at his first at-bat against Carey, draws a one-out walk. He's off for the first time. And that'll send up Cal Fisher for the Seminoles.
I would love for, maybe somebody's done this and I don't know, I would love for somebody to mic up a baseball coach from the moment they get to the field till the game is over, right? And what I'm giggling about is because you heard him go, ooh, that pitch that was just on the edge. How many times a coach goes, oh, or flinches or has a comment about something during the course of a game, jumps up on a bad hop, whatever it might be. I think people would be fascinated just how intense coaches are in a baseball game.
There's something I picked up on today, Ty, looking at Michigan's defense. It's rare that they've had two infielders on either side of second base. They continue to shift left and right. Swing and a miss by Fisher.
Yeah, to answer your question, not to cut you off, I was trying to answer. I wanted to watch the pitch, but yeah, that's a tremendous observation. It shows you the confidence they have. And you can see all them charts down there. Next, you see all that yellow and green and all those different colors down there. If I had a little pen thing, I'd draw it for you. And that tells you where you're going to position your guys. And yeah, they've got a tendency. Let's start with this. Now you got right here. You see these charts right here, and all this information right here is data on the hitter and data on the pitcher. It starts with your own pitcher first. What does his fastball do? This is a two-seamer that sinks. So you're going to go pull side because that's going into the right-handed hitter's bat. So you're going to pull your defenders over. And so it starts with him. Then it goes to the hitter. Where is his tendency? And what does he do? And now we got some more charts from Florida State. We got charts going everywhere. And that tells you where college baseball is today. It used to be like one book. You'd open it up, be lines drawn that you physically drew yourself as a coach. Now you look over there and you got all the analytics, TrackMan, Repsodo, all this information for the defense and the offense, because we just looked in both dugouts.
Rolled into the shifts. Throw to second for one. To first. Not in time. Beaten out there by Fisher with the fielder's choice will erase Bailey. And now there's two outs.
Now this is a great play by Jeffress right here, the third baseman from Michigan. We're going to get a replay of this. Watch this drop step. He's got top spin. Look at this drop step right here. What I mean by you saw him take his left foot and go back. He saw that first hop off the dirt at home plate was going to have top spin, and because the hitter went over the top of that ball, and that next hop was going to have even more rotation to it. That's a tremendous play he made look easy.
We talked with Tracy Smith early in the week about what he's seen from his team early on in the year. Noted that they had to replace the entire infield from a year ago, but the defense, at least one weekend in, has been excellent from his infield.
Well, the surface here is good. What infielders are taught is when that ball is slammed down at home plate, where a hitter swing gets over the top of it, oftentimes a breaker it happens on, you get out in front and over it, it creates top spin. And those are the hops that these infielders, once they see it go down, you either got to commit to come get it or do exactly what Jeffers did, and that was take a step back at that point, what is called a drop step, to get yourself a better hop. So you get a good look at the surface, turf and dirt, which is an unusual. Most times than not, it's all turf. But here in the big leagues, I think they prefer and/or, I'm not going to use the word you have to. Maybe you may know more about that than I do because you pay more attention to the big league stuff. But that green you see looks like some beautiful grass that you might could grow here, but it is turf.
Swing and a miss on the high fastball, 1-2. You know, people think about big league baseball, think about tradition. And I just think that dirt is the one thing that they don't want to give up. Go back to first, and Fisher just back in.
Dirt? Is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah, I used to love, well, college baseball is more turf. High school baseball is now too. Uniforms are cleaner. Baseballs last longer. There's a lot to having turf and you know. But yeah, you're right. Some people still love the idea your uniform gets dirty.
In the air to right field, pretty well hit to the warning track, and making the catch is Hager with little room to spare. Carnes gave it a ride, but not deep enough. We head to the fourth. Seminoles looking to stay unbeaten on the year. They lead Michigan 1-0 here on Flow.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
There's a big deal going on at Whataburger, like the new Big Ranch Wrap, a crispy chicken strip, buttermilk ranch, cheese, and fresh veggies in a warm tortilla. Or go bigger with 5 premium Whata chicken bites. Or go bigger than big with our Bacon Cheese Whataburger Jr. with fresh 100% beef and melty cheese. Make it even bigger with fries and a drink for a little more. Now that's a big deal. The Whata Deal, now at What a Burger. Download the app.
Every shot starts with belief. Something extraordinary can happen. Shriners Children's provides hope, healing, and the chance to dream big. They never allow the ability to pay to compromise the care children receive. Shriners Children's empowers the extraordinary, and you can too. Join me in supporting this life-changing cause and help provide the most amazing care anywhere.
And we're back in Globe Life Field. So much coverage here for you on Flow College. The Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic, one of the great softball tournaments every year, live on Flow throughout the weekend. Of course, we have weekends 2 and 3 of college baseball here. The Amegy Bank College Baseball Series live on Flow as well. All 9 games this weekend and next, featuring some of the best teams in the country. You talk to all the coaches that, again, these weekends have an Omaha feel to them. As Cade Lottahoff leads off the 4th for Michigan. Wolverines hitless so far as Wes Mendez has only allowed 1 base runner.
I'm going to one-up you. Not just Omaha feel. This is Omaha looks. These are the uniform brands you're going to see in Omaha when you get right down to it. More than likely. I mean, I obviously had a crystal ball. Could predict it, be a wealthy guy, and is one of the smartest ones. But this is the brands that are used to going. This is the brands that have the background that make it to Omaha, and then they have the talent to make it to Omaha, along with the coaches.
You know, Tracy Smith joked with us earlier about he was the one that made this daunting schedule for Michigan. The Wolverines weren't initially scheduled to be in this tournament, but one of the programs that was dropped out. And when Tracy Smith was offered, he said yes immediately to playing here.
72 and sunny, baby. 72 and sunny. I'm telling you, I was talking to him before the game about, he said this was, a rough winter for him up there. And they didn't get out on the field as much as they'd like to. But, I mean, it just makes sense. I say this every weekend, and I'll say it again next weekend, too. Rev Sports and the Texas Rangers do such an incredible job of accommodating everybody and making their experience a tremendous experience. A lot of people, when you go to these tournaments, they're telling you, don't step on the grass, don't go here. No, you can only get 20 minutes in the cage. No, you can't. No is the first thing. Yes is the first thing that Rev Sports and Globe Life present to these guys.
Foul to short. Fisher. And the throw gets away from Bailey. An error by the shortstop. Fisher will allow Lodahoff to reach.
Well, similar to the play that Michigan made the inning before, this ball's got a lot of top spin. It pushes him back. Watch where he starts. Now watch how far it pushes him back on that last step. It was pinned down just a little bit, meaning he didn't have any momentum coming through the ball, Brant. When you do that, you have a tendency to leave the ball dug outside and high.
Again, the Seminoles had a lot to replace, losing players a year ago, 12 drafted over the offseason. And that included one of the nation's top shortstops, Alex Lodace, second-round pick of Atlanta, was the ACC Player of the Year last year. Florida State had one of the best middle infields in the country last season as that shoots through the left side for the first hit of the day for Michigan. And here come the Wolverines, 2 on and nobody out.
It's a nice job of hitting left matchup. He stays on what looks like a fastball. We'll get another look at it. Stays on it, middle away. This ball is smoked. Let me tell you what, you think you want to play third base, and all of a sudden they hit one at you about 110 miles an hour on the ground, or just to the left of you. That was going to be an incredible play if he'd have been able to come up with it, but that ball was smoked on the ground.
Base hit for Brendan Stressler, his team leading 8th hit of the year. Micah Posey, pitching coach for the Seminoles, out of the mound. Nobody getting loose right now for FSU. Pitch count for Mendez at 52, but now we're seeing the top of the order the second time through.
Yeah, and part of that now. One of the runners is on with a ground ball, so it would err at short. Could have been, should have been, more times than not is going to be an out. But the last ball that was hit, that ball was hit hard and barreled up. One of the harder balls hit so far. Now, if you're Michigan, you're in it. I mean, you're right in part of your lineup where a lot of your run production is. And when you get these opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. And you couldn't see it. We could see it from where we were. Florida State had pulled in their corner infielders to protect against what they thought would be a bunt situation. But with them being in the middle of the order, they're going to let him swing.
Kobe Turner at the plate here for Michigan. Count should be a ball and a strike here. Now it's 1-2 and a swing and a miss.
He attacks that changeup, Brant, and doesn't give any evidence prior to the ball being released that there's something off speed coming. Sometimes they'll slow their momentum down or their wind up, and he attacks it.
Got him. Another strikeout for Mendez, number 5. And that's the first out of the inning.
What a great sequence. Evens a count, comes back with a changeup, gets him out front. And then he just dots this. Look at the explosion on that fastball and the confidence that he's got in his delivery with it.
Carson Luna, one of the strikeout victims of Mendez in his first at-bat. Attacks the first pitch and it's fouled away. In Michigan last week and surprised Arizona this week in Arlington. The Wolverines will not play their first home game until March 10th against Western Michigan. First handful of games, first month of the season essentially on the road. And that's normal for northern teams. And what a play at first made by Miles Bailey, robbing Luna of a base hit. The runners do get back, but an impressive second out recorded by Bailey.
We're going to get another look at this. He was, because he's not holding him, you can see his depth behind the runner, and he also showing off some ups, long arms, and a 13-inch glove.
Don't see a lot of snow cone plays made by first baseman. Bailey makes that one for the second out. Now it's Noah Miller. Look to the changeup for ball one. We have yet to see a two-out hit by either team today. And collectively, they are 2 for 13 with runners on base. And Mendez has fallen behind Miller 2-0.
Looked like he was sitting on his changeup right there because he was so far behind that. I mean, that was a slider, but he was late getting the barrel to it, which makes you think as a coach he was sitting on his changeup.
Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball runs the count to 2-2.
If he gets out of it, it'll be the second time this game, one for each team. They hit first, second, nobody out. Obviously, there's a long ways between here and there, but he's one pitch away.
In the air to center. Shallow center, and it is the shortstop Cal Fisher making the catch behind the bag in second. The first two in the inning reach for the Wolverines, but nobody scores. 4 in the books for Wes Mendez. His Seminoles on top of the Wolverines, 1-0. You're watching the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series on Flow College.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow. Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Let's take you back to the second inning. Gabe Frazier, a leadoff triple for the Seminoles, just missing a home run. With the ball bouncing off the wall, able to leg it out for a three-bagger. And will later come home on the RBI base hit from Chase Estes. The only offense so far in the game as FSU leads 1-0. And here is Frazier to again lead off an inning in the fourth. An opposite field triple at that for Frazier. And Michigan again with a pull side shift against him. Fly ball to left. Stressler on the run and not going to get there. How about the day for Gabe Frazier? Doubles to lead off the fourth.
Very similar swings. Now the first one by Frazier was hit a lot harder. Ball away, two-seamer running away from him, just like his first at bat. And as a left fielder, that wall where the bleachers are and the line come into play. You're running hard after that ball, and you look up, there's this ginormous wall you're staring at. And he was able to drop that ball into left field for a double. He's halfway to cycle, by the way.
Brings up DeLamielleure. Corner infielders are in as he bunts over the top for strike one.
A lot of coaches, when you get a leadoff double and you're at the bottom third of your lineup, you'll try to get those guys 90 feet away with less than two. Gives you options, you know, fly balls, base hit, make them pull their infield up, a lot of different things. And he showed them drag, and we'll be curious to see if he does again.
Carey attacks the strike zone there. Ahead against DeLamielleure, 0-2. Over 50 pitches so far for Carey.
Well, if you're DeLamielleure now, you're just doing everything you can to shorten up and almost play pepper with the right side. Whatever, get the number one goal, get the ball in play. Second goal is let's get it over to the right side. Let's move this runner over to third base.
Can't check his swing there. Third strikeout for Carey, and one away here, the fourth.
You're seeing now Carey be able to execute that breaking ball, Brant, not for strikes. He's not landing them in the strike zone, but for the chase pitch after that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Speeds those hitters up. Get a swing miss. It's a big punch out right there.
And that'll bring up Estes. Drove in Frazier back in the second. Jackknifes out of the way and a pitch inside.
That's a diving catch by Miller. That's what that was. That was a diving catch on a line drive. That's a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He completely lays out the catch.
Up the middle, and that's through for another base hit for Estes. Around third is Frazier, and he will score. For the second time today, Estes delivers 2-0 Seminoles.
Same space of real estate. Grant right back up the middle towards the center fielder, this time on the ground instead of a line drive the first time. We get another look at this. Does a good job. Nothing special. Like you'd see their pull side a little bit. Shortstop wasn't towards second as much as you think he would have been. He gets the ball just past the second baseman. Same space out to center field for a second RBI of the day.
So the bottom part of the order, the one producing for the Seminoles so far today, is the 9-hole hitter Chase Williams is up. And looks at the first pitch strike from Carey. Florida State tomorrow will take on Auburn. Bryson Moore will get the start for the Seminoles. They'll wrap things up against Nebraska on Sunday. They have not announced a starter for the finale. Wolverines of Louisville tomorrow, and K-State, the final game of the weekend on Sunday. And Carey now ahead of Williams, 0-2.
You got guys that can run, hit, run, bunt, drag. The defensive coach, it's in your grill that, all right, I need to make sure we protect against the run, make sure we protect, the corners up at third base. There's a lot of different things in there in your mind as an infielder and as a coach that you got to try to defend. And you saw it right there with a fake steal. And what that does, when they fake steal with a runner at first base with Estes, that makes the infielders take a step towards the bag, makes them leave their position a little bit early, maybe gets them off balance on a ground ball. It's the catcher to raise up.
Two. Grounded to the right side, foul. As Williams stays alive, top of the order due up for Florida State. After Williams bats here. This ballpark first opened about 6 years ago, May of 2020. During the pandemic, the first event ever held here was a high school graduation, believe it or not. The Rangers didn't make their debut until the middle of July. As you recall, the Major League season didn't start until then.
Did they play the World Series here because it wasn't even, the Rangers weren't involved, right?
That's correct. Tampa Bay and the LA Dodgers played in that World Series. Of course, the Rangers played in and won their own against Arizona a couple of years ago.
I gotta think they gotta start the runner. It's a 3-2 count, 1 out. Left-handed hitter. Might be able to use that right side. Got timeout called by the hitter. But it does give you that option as a coach. If you don't think that he's going to strike out or swing miss, and he will make contact. And what was the reason for the timeout is the bullpen catcher is sprinting all the way out.
Pitch count for Carey, now nearing 60. Full count pitch, and that is into center for another base hit. Estes on the run, on his way to third. Runners on the corners. That's the bottom of the lineup. Continues to produce for Florida State.
We were right, Brant. He was off on the pitch. Estes was. And because he believes in his contact abilities, sees off, ball's back up the middle. Estes never stopped. That's a no hesitation play. As a base runner, you know at that point you're going all the way to third base. Now you're sitting when he got less than 2 outs at third base, first and third. Now you've got a lot of different options going back to the top of the, lineup. With Dowd now, Brent, you've got, if you choose to safety squeeze, if you choose to double steal, or sit in there and let him hit, you've got, different windows open. The first baseman will be holding a runner. So there's a lot of different things now in Florida State side offensively that they can do.
Brock Hunsiger, the pitching coach for the Wolverines, out of the mound to visit with Carey and the Wolverines infield. And if you're Link Jarrett, Florida State head coach, have to be pleased with the way the bottom of the order has produced, and now the top gets a chance to see Carey for a third time.
The third time it gets real for pitchers. They've seen your stuff. I mean, I can't overemphasize what that means. And you've seen your breakers, you've seen the rotation, you've seen the delivery, what side of the plate. I mean, it makes it a little bit more challenging. But now at the top, at a left-handed hitter, you got the base, the first baseman having to hold on. Now you got a little gap over there to the right side, and he's off.
Off to second, throw down is not in time. No, it is. He got him on the tag.
I know that our camera crew's been so good. They're going to be able to show us again. He tags him on the leg. Curious. Well, you don't see him called out often when you get tagged on the foot. I think he's out. I think it's a tremendous call. I'm just going to tell you right now, there were many times in baseball, there's no chance they're calling that guy out because they tagged him on the foot, right? I mean, it just tells you. But this may be the proper call. As it looks right here, it's slow motion, but our tremendous camera group doing it again. He's got contact, it appears to me, with his left foot or left below the calf. Now we'll get verification right here that he touched it. Yeah, he's out. What a good call by the umpire.
Yeah, you see Noah Miller blowing out the gun as he made an unbelievable throw, but you got to give a lot of credit to Drew Culberson, the shortstop, the way that he covered to make that play.
Now, that's a great point. He's up the line. He's moving too, right? And so they chose to throw all the way through, and it is confirmed he's out. They didn't choose to throw the ball in the middle of the field, meaning cutting it off with one of the other defenders, because remember now there's a runner on third base. They go throw, meaning they're going, what that means, it tells you they're going all the way through, and they did, and they get the out. Now they're one pitch away from getting out of it. I'll tell you what, Miller's behind the plate's been really good so far, right? The diving catch he made, but he got rid of that baseball in a hurry.
Dowd 1 for 2 with the base hits today. And seeing Carey for a third time. Checks his swing and ahead early in the count, 1-0. Takes a strike here and a fastball at 92. Down from Clarkston, Michigan. A transfer to the program from USC. Good offers, but again, able to check it. Talked with Link Jarrett about players that could have an impact this year new to the program. The first player he mentioned was Braden Dowd. Had a good opening weekend last week. Leading off again for FSU today, and he will take a walk. On for the second time and walks for the 5th time this season. And again, there are runners in the corners, and here comes Noah Sheffield.
Again, yeah, you just mentioned first and third again. You know, if you get down 2 strikes, you go back to another first, third steal opportunity for Florida State, but you got the right guy in the box right now in an RBI situation.
Sheffield a walk and a strikeout this afternoon so far. 2 on, 2 outs. Big moment here for Carey, trying to keep this a 2-run game, but he can't, as that's into left. A 2-out base hit from Sheffield. That'll drive in Estes. 3-0 Seminoles.
They used to be strong and physical, and that's what this young man does. He hooks this ball off the edge of his bat. Didn't catch all of his barrel, but showing off his skill level and his strength with the bat in his hand. Driving this ball through, looked like a ball away from him, a pitch away from him. So we get another look at it right here. Yep. Slider away, he's able to reach it. Pulled in between the third baseman and the shortstop.
And life not getting any easier here for Carey as he faces Miles Bailey. Big RBI chance here for the Seminoles' top power hitter. A couple of arms getting loose for the Wolverines in the pen. Wyatt Navarra, left-hander, getting loose. And Brandon Mann, the righty, loosely got for the Wolverines. Raiders count. There's a cut from Bailey, fouled away.
Yeah, this is a dangerous area right now. You're down 3, or you're giving up 3, and Florida State able to come up with a big two-out walk, and then the 2-out hit from Sheffield to keep this inning alive and get that runner in from third. But this is one of those areas that you got to make good pitches here, because you're right in the thick of it. They've seen you, as you mentioned earlier. This is their 3rd time.
This ball is sky to the air towards left. Stressler on the run will make the catch to end the inning as the Seminoles strand 2, but they also add the lead. 2-run score the inning. And Florida State leading Michigan heading into the 5th.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow. Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Yeah. Carey is at. And welcome back to Globe Life Field in Arlington. 3-0 Seminoles on top, striking for a couple of runs in the 4th as the lead grows for the Seminoles. Taking a look at the Big Ten preseason poll, and again, they only select the top 6. Michigan, not pictured here. UCLA, the top-ranked team of the country right now, followed by Oregon, USC. Also, all those West Coast teams tie at the top of the Big Ten preseason poll.
Yeah, and UCLA is also at the top of the Division I poll and coming in at number 1. But, I mean, look, there's a large number of teams in the Big Ten right now, obviously. But the baseball, I think the footprint of it has gotten bigger and better. And then when you start adding West Coast baseball in there, weather-wise and program notoriety and brand, you just made it a lot better.
Leadoff man here for the Michigan behind 0-2. Greg Pace.
Not just football Big Ten, baseball Big Ten, right? And then you add those West Coast teams. Man, what a fastball right there on the outer edge, and that's a big league pitch right there.
Strikeout number 6 for Mendez. Pace down on 3 strikes.
Get another look at it. That probably even caught more of the plate than he was trying to. It was a 2-seam, 93-mile-an-hour 2-seamer with a little sink to it.
Evan Hager, the batter here for the Wolverines, struck out against Mendez back in the 3rd inning. Talk a lot about the Big Ten. Nebraska also here this weekend. Cornhuskers will play next against Louisville. Another Big Ten ACC matchup. And Tracy Smith's son, also a coach of the Big Ten, but not in baseball. In football on Dan Lanning's staff at Oregon.
That was kind of fun listening to Tracy talk about going to watch practice, spending time with Dan Lanning, and very complimentary of his, as a coach, different things that they do, and paying attention to detail, applauding. We see another strikeout. Mendez has got this fastball working. I mean, he's almost abolished. I mean, just gone away from anything of breaker-wise right now. It's been probably 75-80% heaters, occasional changeup mixed in there. He's getting busy with that fastball right now.
Well, you see the strike box here, and that ball out of the zone. He has baited these Wolverine hitters into chasing those fastballs to the top of the triangle, as you called it.
You can't lay off of them. That thing's spinning like nobody's business, and you can almost hear it up here, and a spin rate, and it doesn't start down for a hitter. You know, it stays on that same level. I used to say, and when I was playing again, coaching and playing earlier, it rises, right? Well, it does. It really does. It stays on that same level or on that same plane. And man, you can almost hear it, how hard it's spinning. There's a changeup, one of the few he's used, but has been his, when he's gone to an off-speed pitch, has been the one he's used or has gone to. Imagine seeing 94-mile-an-hour heater and then seeing a changeup at about 84, that looks the exact same.
Now a chance here to strike out the side as Culbertson's behind 1-2.
And what I mean by looks the same body language, arm speed, even rotation of the baseball. They can grip those changeups the same as they grip their fastball changeups. I'm sorry, their fastball. That looked pretty close.
Two on the way, and Culbertson lays off at a pitch way out of the zone. Count fills. Top of the order due up for Michigan.
Nine-hole hitter up, top of the order coming right at him. With your best strike pitch, I got to assume it's going to probably be his fastball going right at him. He went with a cutter. Yeah, catcher's interference.
You could hear the bat making contact with the glove. And so Culbertson will reach with 2 outs.
Get another look at it. Catcher raises his glove. Yeah. Catcher's interference. For you guys that are scoring at home, that is a CI on the abbreviation of what it is, allowing your runner to go to first base.
And back to the top of the Wolverines lineup to Braden Jeffers. 0 for 2 with a strikeout of his own today. Mendez so far has struck out 7, 2 in this inning.
Pretty good going in the inning. I think you told me it was at 63 pitches heading into this inning. Only 1 walk. It's a pitch you're not going to win the battle on. He thought that was going to be a slider going back away from him to catch the middle. Ended up being a fastball running back into him. There's not enough space to get that barrel in between the baseball and try to keep that pitch fair.
Lays off the slider there up in the zone. 1-2 hitter Jeffers. We've seen a lot of the arsenal today from Mendez. Mid-90s fastball, changeup in the low 80s, slider and curve. What does he come back with here? It is a fastball that misses at his 2-2.
That's a trackman call ball right there. And that's umpires back in the day would, ball 2 off the plate would call that a strike. If you sat out there on the edge and you executed that pitch, they'd call that. They'd love to see each other, make that 3rd strike call and, whatever they've been working on in the mirror. But this trackman makes them throw it across the plate now.
And that is stabbed by Bailey, who goes to the bag and makes another play at first. Everybody talks about the bat of Bailey, but his glove doing work today as well. And that'll end the top of the 5th for the Wolverines. Wes Mendez still holding the Wolverines scoreless. He struck out 7, and his defense has also made plays. 3-0 Florida State, heading into the bottom of the 5th on Flow College. 3-0 Florida State on top as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Tate Carey still in the game for the Wolverines, but you figure the leash is short. Pitch count up to 75, and seeing this order for a 3rd time through. And the Seminoles did tag him for a couple of runs back in the 4th inning, and the bullpen has been active for Michigan over the past several minutes.
Now they're ready. I mean, yeah, they've been active. They're ready to go. You got to have them ready, because I'm like you. That leash is probably right near the collar right now, and as how long it is. But the one thing I think that Carey, when this outing is over, unless it kind of comes to differences this half inning, he's used to having that curveball be able to land for strikes. Now that's a cutter.
Hit well to right, and it's over the glove of Hager. Bounces off the warning track. Cal Fisher around second, on his way to third, and he is out at third base.
Good relay. Well, we got a lot to unfold here. First of all, when the ball was hit, I thought the right fielder was going to have a chance to turn and go back and catch this ball. Let's play this. It's a great at-bat, by the way. He drives this ball about as good as you can. I thought he was going to be able to outrun this ball and catch it. Misses it off the wall, picks it up first try, misses his first relay guy, gets the second relay guy, which is the shortstop. And, I mean, when he caught it, he about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to the third baseman.
That's hit to center. Easy play for Greg Pace as Carnes flies out of the first pitch he sees.
One of the greatest comments ever made to me by Augie Garrido was talking about outfield play, and he loved to talk outfield play. He goes, your outfield is good when you obviously make the routine plays. We all accept that. We want that, need that. It's the great play in the gaps over your head where you perform, picking the ball up, making a great catch, getting it in, and taking outs and runs away from the offense. Huge momentum swing for Michigan at that point. Instead of having that runner at second, and now that fly ball getting him to third. It's a huge defensive play for Michigan.
And that's it for Tate Carey. Tracy Smith calling for the ball, and he'll now call to the bullpen. A change for the Wolverines. Tate Carey is out, and coming into the game now, Wyatt Navarra in for the Wolverines. We talked with Wolverines head coach Tracy Smith early in the week, mentioned the strength of his team, the pitching depth in the bullpen. Turning to it for the first time today, Wyatt Navarra, and now for the Wolverines, making just his second appearance of the season. Made 6 a year ago, 13 as a freshman back in 2024. 12 career innings pitched for Navarra. 8 strikeouts, but 18 walks, so command has been a bit of an issue.
I think what they're doing here is they're going to go with a matchup, and he's got some runway behind him, meaning you got 2 outs, nobody on. So you mentioned his command has, probably been his Achilles, for lack of a better word. And so he's going to give him a left-left matchup where you have a higher success opportunity. And so when a coach, you try to pick moments to get guys in where they have a chance to succeed, this is certainly an opportunity for Navarro.
First pitch swinging is Frazier. Boy, he's been really aggressive at the plate today, going opposite field all 3 at-bats, but this time flies out to end the inning. 5 in the books. We go to the 6th in the opening game of our triple header. Florida State 3, Michigan nothing on Flow College. Florida State on top 3-0 as we head to the 6th. Talked earlier about the Big Ten preseason poll. Now a look at the ACC. Georgia Tech picked to win it this year. The Seminoles picked 3rd behind North Carolina. Louisville, the team we'll see coming up here shortly, picked to finish 4th. A very deep ACC, and we talked with Link Jarrett about it. There are no off weekends in this conference, and you think about the strength of both the ACC and the Big Ten. Everybody talks up the SEC, and rightfully so, Ty. They've had every national champion dating back to 2019, but a lot of quality baseball beyond the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. But when you start looking at that ACC, I think Link was telling us, what was it, a couple of years ago, the ACC occupied half of the Omaha field. And they're going to be riddled all in the top 25 as well. We obviously mentioned we'll get a chance to see Louisville here as well, but it is a tremendous baseball conference. It is, and they pour their money into and resources into the facilities. I'm sure there's some, NIL involved. There's a lot of different, scholarship, all those things, resources now that are a part of college athletics. I'm sure the ACC is the forefront of that. So I was just looking at that. I occasionally forget just who all's in the ACC, truthfully. And when you start staring at it and reading, that's good baseball.
So much shifting around college athletics. The ACC adding teams like Stanford and Cal off the West Coast, adding to the depth of the conference. And you think about the Big Ten, as we see Laudaha foul this off, facing Mendez for a 3rd time. Tracy Smith mentioned that back in the day, the Big Ten, the top 3 teams were really good. Everything else after that was not as good. But now you go teams 1 through 10, and the depth of the Big Ten is as good as it's ever been. Laudaha pops up and just out of the reach of Frazier at 3rd. Count remains 2-2.
Well, and in the Big Ten too. I mean, that's why it was always like such a big football, conference. And baseball, the weather wasn't as conducive. Now these guys have an unreal indoor facilities, which is helpful. They come here to play early. They used to have to go down south and come play, and sometimes it was hard to convince a kid from Texas, hey, come up to Michigan and come play baseball. Well, now they do.
All popped up again. And again out of the reach, this time of the catcher, Hunter Carnes. Wes Mendez so far for Florida State, 5 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts. We're keeping an eye on the pitch count, and Mendez now over 80.
These guys are built up. They're built up now that they can get up to, 95 to 100. We're seeing a little communication issue. When the catcher Carnes went over to catch that or have an opportunity, he got hung up in the netting. So I'm guessing his earpiece somehow got stuck, or yeah, it came out in the net. You can see them all over here looking like they're hunting Easter eggs, and it was he went into the net. Watch this right here. Head goes in the net, hands. He's all he's definitely in the net. So I think he lost some of his technology somewhere in there.
It's possible that earpiece dropped into the luxury seats there, and they're checking that.
There we go. We got it. I got it. He found the Easter egg. You just carried an equipment bag, your catcher's equipment bag. Now you carry your equipment bag and a technology bag.
A lot of Hoff loose to the slider. Full count, 3-2. Third time through the order here for Wes Mendez. Only hit given up. As this ball is hit towards center, and drifting over is Williams to make the catch. The only hit given up was a single to Stressler, who now comes up for the Wolverines with 1 out in the 6th.
Well, this is good at bat. He shortens up, sees the ball away from him. Does a good job of getting the ball off the barrel. Williams also does a good job of breaking on this ball. This ball was hit harder than I originally thought it was. Well, coach is out. I think he might have. They're going to make a move. Yeah, he's hit his mark. So
yeah, right now getting loose for Florida State out in the pen, and coming in is John Abraham. So Abraham ready to go. He's into the game now as Mendez will give the ball up in the 6th. 3-0 Florida State. Back after this on Flow College. The day is done for Wes Mendez time, and he was effective across 5+ innings.
That's an understatement. I'll tell you what was effective was that hard boring, explosive 94 to 96 mile-an-hour fastball that he seemed to have complete control and command over. As we're getting a look at some of the strikeouts, he was able to throw the ball through some of the Michigan hitters. Changeup was effective in times, but his ability to go to every quadrant of the triangle, right, left or inside, outside, top of the, get him to chase out of the zone. He was in complete command of himself, emotionally and physically, and of that fastball today.
And now into the game, John Abraham for Florida State. 3rd year with the Seminole program, making his 3rd appearance of the season, 49th in an FSU uniform. 70 career innings, and he's got some impressive strikeout numbers, 88 in those 70 innings of work.
Yeah, it is impressive. You can also see an impressive changeup, fastball, slider or slurve is what it used to be called, but it is real stuff.
And they're looking at Mendez in the dugout. His numbers for the day, 5 1/3 of scoreless baseball with 7 punch-outs, only allowing 2 base runners. Stressler, the batter, swing and a miss. A ball and a strike. Stressler, the only hit this afternoon for Michigan.
Well, that had a lot to do with that guy they were just showing on the camera a minute ago. Mendez. There wasn't many guys going to hit him today. You get a good look at why that he's got almost 90 punch outs in his career. That curveball, slurve, however you want to call it and describe it. But you watch the depth of this and how far it just falls off the table. It's the old 12-6 breaker back in the day. And then he comes back and change up off of that, making you want to think he didn't execute, making you want to think he was going with a heater.
Two ball, 2 strike count from Abraham, and Stressler misses on the changeup. Abraham 1 batter in, a strikeout, and there's 2 down.
I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the game, okay? But let me just qualify something for you. You're a relief pitcher. You're asked to come in and execute pitches immediately, right? You don't get a chance to settle in. Well, this cat just rolls out there and dumps 3 breakers and a changeup. that is tough on the hitters.
Now Colby Turner. Well, the tail end of that changeup too. So much movement there from Abraham. On the ground, left side of the infield, a backhand stab by Fisher. Long throw right on target of Bailey. And the infield defense continues to impress for FSU.
Throws his first fastball, 2-seamer, shortstop. I got it. Getting over.
The offense today for Florida State, a lot of it courtesy of Jace Estes. First, you got to take a look at Gabe Frazier getting on base, opposite field triple. That came back in the 2nd inning. And would later come home on the Estes base hit to center field. Estes delivering a shot right up the middle. And a walk-in run for Frazier. Made it 1-0 Florida State. Fast forward to the 4th. Estes again driving in Frazier, and again a hit right up the middle. Seeing eye single made it 2-0 FSU. And later in the 4th inning, Noah Sheffield doing his thing. Ground ball through the left side, bringing in Estes. 3-0 Seminoles on top.
Opportunistic. That's what they've been. I mean, I thought the ball that he hit to left field. Frazier, the first one off the bottom of the wall, was the best ball he hit. The other one was kind of strategically placed, and left fielder from Michigan wasn't able to, Stressler wasn't able to get over and get it. But when they've done it, they've been able to come up with a hit, either with, one out and or Sheffield's 2-out hit.
This ball's in well to right field, but just short of the warning track as Hager makes a catch to take care of DeLamielleure. And a quick out starts the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, Navarro's gone out there. Command's been his issue, right? He's thrown 2 pitches and 2 outs. Both strikes. I don't,
Here's Estes facing Navarro for the first time. And Luke's out a strike.
It's a good-looking slider. That is a good-looking slider. 87-mile-an-hour slider. It's got just enough down movement to it, too, to get you off. Of the barrel. And when it's like that, too, if it's not as big going east and west or side to side, it's easier to land for strikes. And I think probably over his career, they've tried to shape that where it was smaller, and it could get it into the strike zone more consistently.
Ahead of the count here against Estes, 1-2. You joked earlier, Ty, that here in Arlington, every game is 72 and sunny. Back home in Ann Arbor, it is snowing. It is 35 degrees right now.
Well, not for me unless I'm hitting the slopes.
2-2 on the way, and a ground ball to the right side. Vacuumed up by Turner, but the throw from Navarro gets away.
Yeah, this is one of those early season plays. First baseman didn't need to go get this ball. Remember, if we get a chance to look at it, they're shifted over. You got to always know where the guy next to you is. It's a hard play. It's like a fly ball communication. You holler ball, or I got it, whatever you use. Look how close the second baseman was to playing him. First baseman could have retreated, just gone right to the bag. You create more tension on this play with the pitcher having to go over and cover it up, and the second baseman making an overhead throw. Your second baseman was taught to throw that ball to the bag, but he looked up at where the pitcher was coming from and tried to throw it to him.
The official score has ruled that as a single, and a base hit for Estes.
Okay.
So he's 3 for 3.
My hitting average might have gone up if I'd played in this. I'm not picking at anybody.
We had a chance to show off your baseball resume earlier, Ty. Former player at the University of Texas, and later the head coach at Texas State for 20 seasons, a program that's about to be in the Pac-12 this time next year.
How about that? Isn't that exciting? I'm so happy for Texas State and the program itself and our administration. Kelly Danfous, the president, Don Coryell, the athletic director, have worked hard to make that happen. It's a huge jump for Texas State. And obviously, perception's a lot of different things, but the league will be good, and it's a great move for them. I was going to tell you, going back to, I'm glad you said that about UT, but you see on the walk now. The command, it was so clean for the first 3 hitters he faced, and it's a quick walk to the bottom of the order. But Mike Martin, who I met when I was a player, was sitting next to him, and in between games we were watching. Who knows what he was scouting. I was watching as a player, and he just proceeds to have a 45-minute conversation with me. And it was one of the coolest events of my life. At that time, I was 21 years old in Omaha, Nebraska. We were playing for the national title eventually that year, and it was fun. He took time to visit with me.
Top of the order batting here for Florida State, Braden Dowd, who's been on twice with a single and a walk. And, of course, your coach, Ty, at Texas, the great Cliff Gustafson.
You got that part right. The great part of it is a great man and a great coach, and he won a lot of baseball games. I know a lot of people, don't realize this. I'm sure Link probably did, but he was just outside of it, I think. But it wasn't unusual for us if you made it to Omaha to play 75 games in a year. 75. We were 60, like 64 and 14 one year or something like that. It's 80. But I mean, it was a lot of baseball. We had some unlimited scheduling back then, and it was fun. And those guys won a lot of games. If you were good as a coach, they put some records out there that are going to be hard to chase.
Well, Ty, your memory has served you well. The 85 Longhorns, 64 and 14.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of baseball games. That's a lot of wins, too. Unfortunately, we lost the last two.
In the air to left, and that is down for a base hit. Dowd comes through around third, and scoring is Estes. Motoring behind him, Williams. A 2-run double for Braden Dowd. 5-0 Florida State.
Well, this is a textbook two-strike hitting, looking for a slider. Gets it, stays on it, doesn't try to do much more with it, and then stay on it. Look at this right here. Stays on it, drives it out to left field. Left fielder from Michigan's playing tight. You can see in your screen there. That ball's a line drive over his head. Scoring two of them, but I mean a tremendous at-bat. I doubt staying on that ball and going with it.
Michigan's inability to make that infield play against Estes has opened the door for a big inning for the Seminoles here as Michigan's making a change. Wolverines back to the pen, trailing the Seminoles 5-0. Boy, tough outing for Wyatt Navarre here in the sixth inning. Got the first batter out on one pitch. Thought he had Jace Estes on a ground ball, but the infield's inability to make that play tie changed things, and you could tell that Navarre was rattled a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, the play was what dictated it. The beginning of the inning. I think also, I mean, you come up right behind it with a walk, and then you a great at-bat by Dowd. I mean, again, that was a great piece of, not a bad pitch, all right? A slider away. Maybe he was trying to get it off the edge of the plate a little bit more, but I think it was more credit to Dowd than anything else of being able to stay with it and committing to hitting the ball the other way with two strikes.
And now the big right-hander, Brandon Mann, 6'3", 243 pounds, and making his first appearance of the year for the Wolverines. And here's a runner and hits the first batter, Noah Sheffield. First batter he faces. And Mann into the game and into the fire. He's got 2 on with the heart of the order, batting now for the Seminoles.
Well, you're asked to do the same thing that the Florida State pitcher was asked. If you're going to come out of the bullpen, you got to land a breaker or a secondary pitch to get started with, and he wasn't able to land it, except maybe landed it on Sheffield. But when you're going to relief. You are going to be asked to come in and throw secondary pitches or off-speed pitches in 0-0 counts to start in that bat.
And here's Miles Bailey. Looks at a strike. Man, like Navarro before him, some command issues over the course of his career. 40 career appearances, 45-plus innings. Has walked 39 and 8 wild pitches.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost a walking inning.
And that gets away from Miller. Right on cue, a wild pitch all the way to the backstop. And now runners at second and third.
Yeah, that's tough right there. It's tough on Miller, too, who's been so good today behind the plate, Brant. This breaker out away from him bounces and gets away. There's a wild pitch, as you were just talking about, the number of wild pitches.
And he's also hit 11 batters. And Tracy Smith out to the mound here for Michigan. And that is a short outing for Brandon Mann. The Wolverines will again go to the bullpen. And we'll take a break. Florida State with a chance to break this game wide open. 2-1 with the heart of the order batting here for FSU. Brandon Mann, a quick outing for the Wolverines into the bullpen, facing 2 batters and pulled while facing his second one, and that'll bring in Keegan O'Hearn. And now for Michigan, inherits runners at second and third and a pitch count 1-1 to Miles Bailey. O'Hearn making his 2026 debut. Two-way player for the Wolverines as a freshman last year. 32 at-bats and on the mound 3 appearances. In 2 2/3 innings, though, he walked 8. First pitch here is high to make it 2-1.
I think what happened was when he hit the batter, he was in there to face the right-handed hitter Sheffield. When he hit him, all of a sudden your guy out in the pin's not ready yet. So because you had a lefty coming up, and so which is who O'Hearn would have faced from the beginning of the count is what I think happened.
3-1 to Bailey. Infield drawn in here for Michigan. And O'Hearn a pitch away from loading them up. Instead, pumps it a strike at 95. Full count coming up to Bailey. With one swing, Bailey can break this game wide open. 3-2, and that's a take to load the bases for Cal Fisher.
I think Michigan is, when I say what I think, you see in your monitor their infielders retreating back, the middle guys, and what they're going to do, that's going to allow them to try to turn, a double play if the ground ball comes up. You're trying to find a way to get out of this without any more damage, right? And one of your best options is if they do hit a hard ground ball, you're able to complete the double play. Your third baseman's up tight, but if it's hit glove side for him, he'll go to second base to try to help turn the double play.
Well, the velo was there for O'Hearn. The last fastball at 97. It's a matter of control.
Yeah, command's always an issue, always a big part of it. Not an issue, always a big part of it.
That ball hit well to right field. Going back is Hager at the warning track, makes a catch. And tagging from third is Dow, and he'll score to make it 6-0. Or beg your pardon. Or yeah, that is Down scoring. Fisher the one driving him in. And also advancing over to third base is Sheffield.
Get another look at this. This is a fastball down and away. Not a bad fastball. That's a tremendous approach offensively by Fisher. Not trying to go poolside and trying to hit a ball out of the park. Saw something he could get to the middle or the bottom of and took advantage of it. And let the velo of his fastball maybe add a few more feet to it to the outfield.
Here's Carnes, who's 0 for 3. Eighth batter of the inning for Florida State. That ball drilled up the middle, and Pace will drift back and make the catch, and the Seminoles strand 2. But they also added the lead, scoring 3 times to the 6. 6-0. Seminoles over the Wolverines, heading into the 7th.
You hit for me? We're good.
Back inside Globe Life Field, home of the 2023 World Series champion Texas Rangers, and also home for the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series. Opening game of our triple-header, Florida State on top 6-0. 3 more runs for the Seminoles in the 6th. As we head to the top of the 7th inning, and Michigan still looking to get something going offensively. Got shut down by Florida State starter Wes Mendez. 5+ innings, struck out 7, And John Abraham working his second inning out of the pen and delivers a strike to Carson Luna.
That fan looked like he was getting dominated by his phone like I was earlier. I'm trying to figure out how to silent my phone, and he was over messing with his. But this is that moment where your bullpen, and again, it can be a strength or it can be an Achilles or somewhere in between. A little bit for Michigan right now. Haven't had the positive response out of the pen that they're going to need or needed to keep this game closer. And so far, for Florida State, the opposite with Abraham. We see everybody else obviously not getting dominated by their phones and understand how to use the video part of it.
Actually, a pinch hitter up here for the Wolverines. Matthew Austinfort batting in place of Carson Luna. Austinfort rolls one to the right side. Bailey with a flip to Abraham, and one down to the seventh.
Yeah, that's a PFP you do every day. If not every day, every other day for the pitchers. Routine ground ball to first baseman. He does a good job of fielding it first. Abraham gives him time to get over to the bag, get situated to it, which is an underhand feed. An underhand feed is 100 times easier than trying to throw it overhand, which is what the second baseman from Michigan was trying to do with the pitcher covered first.
Nobody on, one away for the catcher, Noah Miller. That's another pinch hitter here. Ellie Kligman batting for the Wolverines. Jumps in the first pitch and fouls that away.
Well, this is basically going in there and saying, I'm going to put my left-handed bats up against this right-handed breaker, because it's been nothing but breakers and change-ups.
Cut on and miss to the fastballs. Quickly 0-2.
As soon as I say nothing but it comes back with a 93-mile-an-hour heater, but it is only the third one he's thrown out there so far. There's inning and 2/3 of work, or inning and a third.
Kligman, a part of the rotation of catchers that Tracy Smith has used early part of the season. He'll likely have the gear on. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Skies that foul. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes.
I'm sitting up here as a guy who's watched, I don't know how many pitches in my lifetime, hundreds of thousands, whatever that looks like, and I'm going, what is he going to throw in those hitters? You can imagine, and I've got a decent idea. You imagine what these hitters are thinking. Is it change-up, breaker? It was a breaker that time, but he's got such great command of it. You just don't know it. Oh, and by the way, he's thrown an occasional 93-mile-an-hour heater on the back end of it. So it shows you what command does. It shows you what stuff is, particularly when you can land secondary. What's going through a hitter's mind.
Kligman, ground ball to the right. Estes, Bailey, 2 outs.
Got him out front. Nice and easy for Estes. Nice routine pickup and throw.
Right now, Tracy Smith emptying the bench here for the Wolverines. Another pinch hitter coming up in place of Greg Pace. And up at the plate now for the Wolverines, Dane Morrow. So between the bullpen and players available in the dugout, Tracy Smith has used quite a bit of the roster today. Morrow takes the place of Greg Pace. Two balls, no strikes to Morrow. First year transfer from Tennessee, did not play. for Tony Vitello's Volunteers a year ago. And how about Coach Vitello, now the manager for the San Francisco Giants?
Yeah, I actually had a phone conversation with Frank Anderson the other day, the pitching coach that went with Tony, and they were talking, and he was discussing and describing what it's like and what they're doing. And it's exciting for college coaches because, you know, it's only happened, I think, 1 or 2 times, you know, where a college coach left the head coaching position, went to the big leagues. And I'm excited for it. I'm anxious to see it. I mean, Tony's got, you see 2 of the best coaches in this business right now, Link and Tracy, but I'm excited for it. I think he's going to add energy to it. I think there's a lot of games that I don't know the pro game very well. Okay, so let's start there. I didn't play professional baseball, but I think, you know, college baseball I describe as 4th and 1. Professional baseball 2nd and 5, right? And so I just think that energy, that urgency is probably a better word for it, or both of them. Maybe you scoop up 3, maybe you scoop up 7 more wins because of it. And what does it look like every year in the big leagues? They play 8,000 games in the course of a season, and it comes down to 2 games. They got a 2-game lead going into the, you know, whatever that you would think, my God, at 168 games,
162.
Oh, okay, that was close. 162 games, you would think there would be complete separation all the time, but there's not. Sometimes the top 2 teams come down to 1 or 2 games are tied.
That's happened several times before. You get to the end of the regular season, 2 teams are tied for the division lead, and they have that 1-game playoff. You play 162 to play 1.
Yeah, that fascinates me. Think about it in the coach's mind. Man, going back on those 91 games, we blew a 1-run lead or whatever, right? But it's tied into Florida State with Buster Posey.
Well, jam shot to the shortstop, Fisher. A 1-2-3 inning for John Abraham. Time to stretch in Arlington. All FSU, Florida State on its way to a 4-0 start. Florida State on top 6-0 in tie. You look at the at-bats here from the Seminoles. And they've had a lot of quality at-bats today, driving in runs in situations that they needed to come through.
Came up with the 90-foot or less than 2 outs, base hit or fly ball. They've had the sac flies. We're, you know, with less than 2 outs. They've had the big 2-out hit that you just saw right there with Sheffield. It looked like they were about to get out of it. So yeah, they've been able to clean up some messes that they've created and started offensively for their team. They've been able to clean them up behind them by coming up with the RBIs.
Florida State 1 of the 2nd, 2 of the 4th, 3 in the 6th. Latest big hit from Braden down, the 2-run double in the 6th inning. Look at the recap of the day so far. Wolverines have been held to a single hit. And the pitching staff has struggled a bit with the walks. 5 given up through 6 innings of pitching for the Wolverines. Meanwhile, Mendez 5 innings plus today for Florida State, striking out 7. And Gabe Frazier, big day at the plate for Florida State. He leads off here in the 7th inning, facing Slade Moore out of the bullpen now for the Wolverines. Swing and a miss, quickly 0-2. A lot of defensive changes for the Wolverines as Brendan Stressler has moved from left to right. Evan Hager from right to center as Greg Pace has come out of the game, and Dan Morrow now in left field for Michigan. Check swing up the third base side, and that is a fair ball. Bounces off the bag at third. A check swing single for Gabe Frazier. Now a home run shy of the cycle.
Often it's not how hard you hit a ball, it's where you hit it. And this ball's not hit very hard, obviously. You know what happens every time you do something like this as a hitter? I guarantee you, I bet you this happened. As a hitter, as soon as you get to first base, you look at your teammates, and they start giving you a lot of crazy looks and different ideas because of the check swing type hit.
Down to Lavalier. Hitless so far today. Big miss there for Moore. Even to count of the ball and a strike. 4 new position players into the game for Michigan. Again, Morrow in left field. Jack Lafitte's taken over at third. Austin Forts at first base, and Klingman the new catcher. That ball drilled to left, and that is down for a base hit. Bounces off the wall. Frazier will stop at third. Into second is Lavalier. Second to third, FSU, nobody out.
Probably one of the more hardest balls hit today by Florida State, truthfully. This ball's hit on the line. They've had about 2 or 3 of them, I should say, like this. Does a great job of recognizing it was going to be middle in, running in towards him. You know, this enables him to be able to pull the balls. This one hops the left field wall, but he got a lot of barrel to this baseball.
The bottom part of the order has been so good today for Florida State. Of the 12 hits, 8 belong to batters 6 through 9. Estes working on a 3-for-3 day himself. He's driven in 2 and has scored twice. Infield drawn in for Michigan. A swing and a miss. 1-1.
That's just upset with himself right there. He saw elevation, knew he would at least maybe to get it to the outfield, but it stayed a little bit higher than he had first anticipated it was going to be.
Takes a strike at a fastball at 90 miles an hour. Evens count at 2-2. And Florida State opening up the season at home in Tallahassee. A couple of wins over JMU, a midweek win over Jacksonville. After this trip to Arlington, they'll open a 9-game homestand. As the count fills, here to Estes.
And you got the infield up. As a hitter, you think, well, they could cut the runoff. They can, but it opens your gaps to get the ball through there. And with 2 strikes, I just peeked in there, and I could see Estes come off the end of the bat, choke up a little bit. He's just trying to fight to get it into play.
Ground ball back to Moore, looks to third, throws to first. Both runners hold, and there's 1 out.
That's exactly the swing he had right there. He was just fighting to get it into play, and did. Pitcher does a good job of fielding it, checking the runner at third, and then going to first base to get the out. But as a hitter, when you got runners on second, third, the worst thing that can happen is a strikeout. So he did. He choked up off the end of the bat to make sure he was going to get it at least into play and make him have to play defense for it.
There's Chase Williams. He's been on twice so far today.
That's not a squeeze or a safety squeeze. That's a drag bunt. That's going to let the third baseman read the bunt. And left-handed pitcher coming off the mound going the opposite way for him. Meaning he had, in order to make the play at first base, he'd have the 360 turn throw and also to home plate. It gets hard on them if you make him field it.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Williams. Top of the order due up next for Florida State.
Again, same thing here. There's a 9-hole hitter. In your mindset, you've got a lot. You got to cover up everything. Fastball, secondary, whatever it may be. You got to shorten up to try to get into play.
With the bunt play now off, you see that Austin Ford is backed up at first. No longer playing in the infield grass as Williams chases a slider and strikes out.
I think he thought this slider was going to keep coming back around to the plate, and it didn't. It stayed away. Watch this right here. It stays out there. As that ball started a foot off the plate, it stayed about almost 6 inches to a foot off the plate.
So Williams expanding his zone, brings up Braden Dowd. 2-run doubles last time up back in the 6th inning. The former USC Trojan. Playing in his 3rd conference in as many years. First year at USC, the Trojans were still in the Pac-12. And then last year in the Big Ten. Now playing in the ACC. Well, it's tough to keep up with all that, isn't it, Ty?
It is. But you know what I'm going to say next? It's the world we live in, college athletics. I mean, it's where we are. So we all just need to get used to it.
Realignment and portal will lead to that.
Yeah.
The transfer portal was a big topic of conversation in our visits with the coaches this week, and how much it's changed the game.
It has, but you heard every one of them describe their roster build by a mix of high school kids for depth. They don't want to give up on that. A lot of guys, the ball's hit pretty good out to center field, but playable.
And Hager is there. The first 2 reach for the Seminoles, but nobody scores. 7 in the books in the first game of our triple-header. Seminoles on top of the Wolverines, 6-0. All weekend long, Shriners Children's is challenging fans to see which team can raise the most money to help improve the lives of children around the world. Donations of any amount help Shriners Children's empower the extraordinary. Donations of $100 or more earn an exclusive Shriners Children's t-shirt. To move your team up on the fundraising leaderboard, scan the QR code on your screen or visit shrinersshowdown.org to donate and support Shriners Children's today. Of course, Ty, you were here for the Shriners Children's College Showdown last week. Back when you were a coach, your team had played at that tournament before. It's always one of the great annual early season tournaments in college baseball.
100%. I mean, obviously the tournaments are a huge deal. The quality of the teams, all the, everything that goes with it, and then you get to be around a purpose. I mean, it adds so much value to the experience overall for the players, the coaches, the meaning of it. And I mean, again, the Shriners have been, so incredible over the years and many things that they've done. We see a routine fly ball out to right field. And Brent, in line with that, I would say this. There are people who think about doing things, there are people who talk about doing things, and then there are people like the Shriners that do things to help others, right? I mean, and so it's an impressive organization with a tremendous cause, and college baseball is proud to associate with it, along with Rev Sports and these teams.
Nobody on, one away. A pinch hitter up here for the Wolverines, Cooper Mullins, taking the place of Drew Culbertson in the 9 hole. Just one hit in the game for Michigan. That was the single from Brendan Stressler back in the 4th inning. One ball, one strike to Mullins.
It's not decision time, but for a coach, but what I'm about to say, it's probably entered Coach Jarrett's mind. Do you ride him out? Meaning with Abraham right now, or is he reaching the early season limit ceiling for him? So he gets another strikeout on that really good breaker. And, if he does finish this inning, efficiently, do you allow him to go back out for the ninth? You see that ball just spinning like crazy, that curveball is. And he does such a good job of aggressively attacking it. And, the stuff has been impressive to watch, Brant, but the command is where it's at. I mean, this cat is up there just dialing up strike after strike.
Zap at today for Jack Lafitte. And Lafitte came in defensively back in the 7th inning. This is the first at-bat of the year for Lafitte. Looks at a fastball that'll even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Florida State 6 runs on 12 hits. They've committed 2 errors. Wolverines scoreless off 1 hit. They have yet to commit an error. 4 left on for Michigan, 10 left by Florida State. Looking to improve to 4-0 on the year. Two and 1, and that got a piece of Lafitte. He's on with 2 outs.
Fastball got him in. That might get the bullpen going a little bit now, just because that's uncharacteristic of him to have that big of a miss. I was about to say, he's had such small misses that you accelerate the hitter's brain when you're always in the strike zone or around it. You have to be prepared all the time. You start having bigger misses, and particularly if you have big misses with certain pitches, you start to eliminate pitches and where they're going or where they might be. Is I think we're getting some activity now in the bullpen. They just showed a picture, and now here comes, I think, Coach Posey out now. This may be the end of the line for Abraham, and they're showing what appears to be a left-handed pitcher getting his drink of water. You know, gotta tell you guys a little secret. You saw him nodding his head like, I know. Let me tell you something. If this is May, he's going, Coach, I got it. Coach, you're gonna have to drag me off here. Early in the year, to keep the pitch counts where they're at.
And it's Cooper Whited coming in now for the Seminoles. A change on the hill for Florida State, with the Wolverines batting in the 8th inning. Still a 6-0 lead for Florida State. And John Abraham is done for the Seminoles, going 2+ innings in relief of Wes Mendez. Did not give up a hit, struck out a pair. Hands the ball off now to Cooper Whited. In for Florida State. A couple of innings of work this year with 3 strikeouts, no runs given up by Whited. And here's a base runner. And a couple of outs here in the 8th. As Cade Lauterhoff comes up for Michigan. Whited, a junior from Jacksonville, Florida. In his first season at FSU. Delivers a strike ahead of Lauterhoff, 0-1.
It's been a theme for Florida State's pitchers. Strike, strike one, strike. I mean, strike to me. They've been aggressive in the zone.
White had pitched in the 16-5 win over James Madison last Saturday. 3 strikeouts against the Dukes. Playing out of the Sun Belt, and of course the Sun Belt was represented in the College World Series finals this past year. That ball smoked to left, and that's down for a base hit for Lauterhoff. And Lafitte's on his way to third. 2-out double. And this is the best scoring opportunity the Wolverines have had all game.
He does a good job of staying with it. It was a repeated changeup again. He gets out front, but look at he stays linear to the ball, keeps his hands back just long enough, Brant. The ball was elevated where he could get the barrel to it and hooked it down the line for a double.
That'll give Strasser a chance here with 2 on and 2 outs. He's 1 for 3. That hit is the second of the day for Michigan. As Strasser looks at a changeup low. I mentioned the Sun Belt in the World Series Finals. Coastal Carolina making the finals for the second time as they fell short against LSU. That ball drilled right to Estes, who's playing deep in the hole at second, and the Wolverines strand 2. The shutout remains intact for Florida State as we go to the bottom of the 8th from Globe Life Field. And welcome back to Arlington at Globe Life Field. Look at the history of this ballpark hosting college baseball. They've done so since 2021. Over 100 collegiate games played during that span. The annual Shriners Children's College Showdown, the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series, and every year, the Big 12 postseason conference tournaments. And they set a record for attendance this past Saturday. One of the games Arkansas played, more than 22,000 in the ballpark that day to watch the Razorbacks. As we welcome you back to Globe Life, Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. Glad to have you with us for the first of a triple header here on Flo College. Coming up next, Nebraska and Louisville, nightcap between Auburn and K-State. 6-0 Seminoles as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Eric Pudzianis into the game now for the Wolverines, the 6th different pitcher Michigan has used today. And another making his debut.
Well, you look for those moments to get guys in the game that, you know, there's not as much. It's, I know coaches love to use this word, or nowadays it's a bigger word, leverage moments, high leverage moments, where a guy can get in there, have a little bit of comfort, maybe not be as nervous or anxious or whatever emotion, you know, he could be thinking or having, and lets that arm work a little freer. I hope it gives him a little more confidence about attacking the strike zone.
Pinch hitter up here for Florida State, taking Noah Sheffield's place is Kelvin Paulino Jr., a freshman out of Thomasville, North Carolina. Cut on and drilled to left for a leadoff base hit.
They didn't miss a beat, did they? Between Sheffield, who had a walk, and a hit batsman, had been on base 3 times. Nice little setup, fastball running into him. Slides the hands in between it, drives it in between the shortstop, third base. A nice piece of hitting coming off the bench, which is not easy.
Now Miles Bailey has walked a couple of times today. Has also made some great plays at first. And Bailey cuts on this one into the shift. Throw to second for the force play in time. No throw coming back to first. That's good for the first out.
Well, he went to second base. He didn't go to the second baseman because the third baseman was playing short, and the shortstop was played over on the right side of second base. And well, he came up with it, was able to field it, and then make a good enough feed to the third baseman covering second. A lot of people do that differently. A lot of people leave their shortstop in that position, and they move their third baseman into the overshift second base position.
And Cal Fisher hits one to center. Hager, well short of the warning track, reaches back to make the catch for out number 2. We talked about the strength of these Power 4 conferences, many of which being represented this weekend in Arlington, but also talked about the Sun Belt and being in the College World Series final and mid-major baseball as good as it's ever been right now.
Yeah, well, college baseball from top to bottom is as good as it's ever been. Again, a lot of mid-majors used to get, turned upside down roster-wise in the last 15 rounds of a draft too. And now they're holding on to some players, and it's just put a lot of guys back into baseball. The portal, Division I, and you got guys that are mid-majors taking some kids that elevate from Division II and Division III levels that are now getting an opportunity maybe when they're juniors and seniors to go play Division I baseball without having to sit out. So there's so many factors that are involved in the maturity of college baseball today, college sports, but really what we're talking about is college baseball. And because of the draft, the portal, NIL comes into play, Brent, as well, because look, if I can make $200,000, $100,000, whatever it might be, and stay in college and go play in these incredible facilities and play on TV and travel nice and finish my degree and all, it starts to add up and make sense to continue my development in college baseball.
Caden Fromelt, the pinch hitter here for Hunter Carnes, the Seminoles catcher. Murray State, one of the great stories in college baseball last year, making it to Omaha.
Yeah, yes, it was. It was fun to watch. Those college baseball teams will peek their head out more often than some other sports. They come out of nowhere to catch everybody's attention.
I know a program you're familiar with, Ty, had a big run last year as well, UTSA.
They did, yeah.
On the doorstep of Omaha.
They did. And, they've been a program that continues to grow and get better. Pat Dunn at Hallmark, who's the head coach, is a tremendous baseball mind and a tremendous coach. He can be two different pieces of that, but he's a good baseball mind and be able to communicate and deliver as a coach. And Pat does a tremendous job. And yeah, they knocked Texas out of their regional in Austin, which is never an easy chore, I assure you. But it just talks about, college baseball. You're going to have those guys.
And Bailey, a hard turn from second as that pitch goes to the backstop, but he'll put on the brakes there. Fromelt draws a walk. 2 on with 2 outs for Florida State here in the 8th. And Tracy Smith looks like he'll make another change.
Running out of space on my book, partner, from writing pitchers' names down.
Same. Only have space for 7. We're about to hit our 7th Michigan pitcher. Eric Pudzinas out for the Wolverines. New pitcher coming in, Michael Quedens. 6-0, FSU on top, still batting here in the 8th inning. 6-0 Florida State on top, out hitting Michigan today 13-2. And Florida State a chance to add to the lead. Couple of runners on here in the 8th inning, and 2 outs as Michael Quedens takes the hill here for Michigan. Left-hander in to face Gabe Frazier. And for Quedens, this is Wolverines' season debut. Just 4 appearances all of last year. Only 4 innings pitched. Out of Stockton, California. Frazier steps in, a home run shy of the cycle, tripled in the 2nd, doubled to the 4th, infield base hit to the 7th. And all of his hits have gone to the opposite field.
100%. Tells you about his approach, his abilities as a hitter, which is also why they're trying to get him to pull a front door breaker right now. They've thrown 3 of them. First pitch breaker was right in the middle. Second one stayed in. This one's a front door breaker, meaning it's right at the hitter, and then breaks to try to clip a part of the plate.
Swing and a miss, and Queen strikes him out. The Seminoles strand 2, but they're 3 outs away from a 4-0 start. We go to the 9th in Arlington. Look at the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They get ready to take on Louisville here shortly. Scheduled to start about an hour from now, but the start of the game might be pushed back just a bit as we've gone just a little bit over 3 hours here today. And the nightcap between Auburn and K-State. All the games can be seen live here on Flo. Louisville also getting ready for the matchup against Nebraska. One of 3 ranked teams here in Arlington this weekend. Cardinals ranked 15th, the Seminoles 16th, the Auburn Tigers ranked 9th. We start the 9th inning, and Colby Turner batting here for Michigan.
Florida State's been efficient and good off the mound today, Fran. I mean, obviously I think that's the tale of the game so far. They've thrown a lot of strikes, not created a whole lot of tension for their defense by putting guys on with free bases.
That ball hit pretty well to left field. It's got some carry, and it is gone. Colby Turner with a leadoff homer in the 9th inning, ending Florida State's shutout.
Yeah, this ball rifled out to left field. Pitch caught a lot of the middle part of the plate. Get another look at it. Good job. Shows his power off. Gets in behind it. Probably in a tighter game, maybe it would have shown a little bit more emotion after hit, but he knew, I guarantee he knew that ball out, and that ball was on a line, meaning a line drive.
Turner hit 5 homers a year ago. That's his first of 2026. So Florida State denied its first shutout of the year. The Wolverines have not been shut this season, as Joe Longo pinch hits here for Austin Fort. A swing and a miss for strike one. So again, 22 home runs at the ballpark last week for the Shriners Children's College Showdown. That the first one of this weekend.
Well, they were dropping bombs last weekend like there was nothing to it. There was more homers than there were singles. I mean, they just everybody was searching for, why. And again, everybody's going to have their own opinion. I mean, it even came up from a guy who's very plugged into college baseball, talking about, well, the baseballs are hot. Well, the baseballs are the minor league baseball. We changed them years ago because it became a non-offensive game when they backed the bats down. Now the bats are built up a little bit different. The technology's better. You're still not going to exceed what it was at one time. You see a hit batsman now. And, I mean, they were flying out of here, There's no wind in this ballpark, so you can't blame it on a 30-mile-an-hour, gust out the left field.
So the first two have reached for Michigan here in the ninth. The homer from Turner. Longo hit by Whited. And there is activity in the pen for Florida State. And this is Gabe Nard getting loose. Meanwhile, the pinch hitters come up for Michigan. Brock Lightgeb, the third different batter to hit in the 6th spot for Michigan today. And the catcher Fromelt trying to buy some time here. For the pin to get ready, and there is a change coming. So the Wolverines creating a bit of a spark here the 9th inning. Florida State looking to put an end to that, as the Seminoles will go to the bullpen and bring in Gabe Nard. Wolverines still batting in the 9th inning, trailing by 5. An interconference transfer into the game now for Florida State. Gabe Nard, former Duke Blue Devil. In fact, he earned his degree from Duke this past December. Now finds himself pitching for Florida State, making his second appearance as a Seminole. Pitched against Jacksonville in the midweek game and struggled a bit, giving up 3 earned runs in his 1 inning of work, including a homer given up to the Dolphins. Into the game with nobody out in the 9th inning. And a run already in the frame for Michigan. Facing Brock Lightgeb. And the first pitch hit sharp to the third and off the glove of Frazier. Everybody is safe.
Well, you heard me react with the on that. He misplays this ball. He should have come and got the high hop. He knows it. You know, it's one of those ones. He's right off that dirt in front of home plate again, right? Top spin, but he had a chance to come get the high hop, but he goes back and takes it, you know, tries to get the shorter one, ends up with an in-between hop. On a play, probably, Brent, you just come up, feel the high hop, take the out at first base, then you're 2 outs away from closing out the game.
It's now 3 errors on the day for Florida State. Second at-bat today for Dane Morrow. It's 1 out towards left center. Going to drift towards John Stutzer, who took the place of Braden Dowd in left field, and he's got it for the first out.
As a coach, if you're trying to close out a game and you've had a home run, a hit batsman, and now an error by your infield, you're thinking to yourself, just hit a fly ball somewhere. Hit an easy fly ball. Let's get an out, and then everybody kind of exhale just a little bit.
And for Lake Jarrett's team, his first out recorded to the 9th. There's Evan Hager now for the Wolverines, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And it goes around, says third base umpire Seth Buckminster. And it is 0-1.
As a hitter, if you move that barrel just enough and you give those umpires permission to call a strike, they're gonna.
Swing and a miss on the slider. 0-2. And that rolls away a bit from Fromel, but the runners hold. Can't afford risking a base running out if you're Michigan here.
Now you're playing station to station baseball, and what that means, you're moving 90 feet only when the game tells you can safely.
1-2, right down the pipe on the breaking ball, and Hager strikes out for the 3rd time.
Threw a couple of fastballs in and then a little cutter in 2 pitches before. This is a backdoor slider, cutter, however you want to describe it. Catches just on the outer edge of the white-black part of the plate. It's a big league pitch.
Pinch hitter Jonathan Kim at the plate here for Michigan. Takes the place of Jun Sung, who was initially in the on-deck circle. Jun Sung had come into play at short for the Wolverines, who are down to their final outs. And Kim looks at a strike on another breaking ball from Nard.
It's been impressive to watch Florida State's bullpen, Brent, come in there and land strike 1 with their secondary pitches.
And now the Wolverines down to their final strike.
Starting to play the Florida State fight song chant.
0-2. That goes off of Nard, trying to recover. Does. A toss to Bailey. And Florida State still unbeaten. The Seminoles out to a 4-0 start this season.
Great pitching today by Florida State. Starts from the very first inning on with Mendez being so good. I mean, so powerful from the left side. The fastball he was able to put on top of him. You know, he was able to go to every quadrant of the plate and strike zone to get swing misses and called strikes. Enough secondary involvement, but it was mainly just, hey, here's my fastball, see what you can do, and then excuse me, and then they're able to go to the bullpen. And then here comes Abraham, who I thought just kind of put the game to rest with his secondary. Using his slider, first pitch strike, changeup, occasional fastball, and then, you know, they're able to come back here and finish it with Nard. So, again, they came up with some big hits to get some, but I thought the pitching was a big part of it today for Florida State.
So Florida State the win, 6-1 over Michigan. Wolverines fall to 3-2. Seminoles now 4-0 as we go down to the field. Leanza Peroni joined by today's player of the game, Gabe Frazier from Florida State.
Gabe, 7 different Noles recorded hits today. How important is it to see that production up and down the lineup this early in the season?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Everyone will go out there and do their job, and that's what we practice to do every week. So we come out here and execute, and this is what happens. So.
Wes Mendez recorded 7 strikeouts and only allowed 1 hit. How did his command on the mound really help establish control for this team?
Yeah, when you have a guy on the mound doing stuff like that, it's really easy for the lineup to produce for him, and we want to produce for him. So.
You moved to 4-0 to start the season. As you add another to the win column, what do you feel like you're learning about the identity of this team?
Yeah, we're really gritty. I mean, you don't have a lot of big name guys on this team, but we go out here and we do, and we work hard, and I'm really excited and looking forward for the rest of the year.
Great win today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Brant.
All right, thanks, Leanza. Florida State 6-1 winners over the Wolverines. Wes Mendez the win. He's 2-0, and Tate Carey, the losing pitcher, falling to 0-1. And tied Florida State. Pitching, the starting pitching for Mendez, great. Timely hitting, quality win for the Seminoles.
Well, you just answered it. I mean, a baseball coach always wants to hear, you know, great pitching, maybe just enough defense today, not the cleanest, but timely hitting, as you put it. And that was a big piece of it in Florida State's continued undefeated season so far.
Well, that's going to wrap up the first of our triple header today. Coming up next, Nebraska and Louisville. Set to start shortly after 3 o'clock Central Time. My broadcast partner, Ty Harrington, our producer, Phil Popwood, I'm Brant Freeman, saying once again the final score, Seminoles 6, Wolverines 1. Cardinals, Cornhuskers coming up next. You've been watching the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series on Flow College.
Retirement must be nice. Got on the bird. Well, that's all I gotta do.